Hello everyone, my name is Chadi Tujalo and I'm joining you from the Gambia. This session is going to be on leveraging the use of OSM data and tools in Tanzania. It's going to be live.
Okay, thank you. Welcome everyone to this session. My name is Amol Nyalusi, working with OpenMap Development Tanzania, in abbreviation OMDTZ from Tanzania. Welcome all to the session. We'll be talking about how the communities or non-government organizations in Tanzania are using OSM data and OSM tools in Tanzania. And basically we'll be mainly focusing on the recent project that OMDTZ we received, which is Tanzania Community Impact Microgrant. And here we will be having other three guests, but now we only have one. When the other will join, we will let them speak. So for now, we have one guest who is Honorable Neema Rugangila, who is executive and the founder, executive director and the founder of Agrithaman Foundation, which is based in Bukoba. And also she's a member of parliament in Tanzania. So welcome all. OpenMap Development Tanzania, for those who don't know, OpenMap Development Tanzania is a registered local NGO in Tanzania, based in Mikocheni, Dar es Salaam. It's an NGO which basically deals with promoting community mapping projects here in Tanzania. And for now, it's like 3 years we have been working in promoting these mapping projects with communities across Tanzania in many regions here in Tanzania. And apart from promoting community mapping projects, also we generate map awareness to different level of stakeholders, local governments, as well as other stakeholders. And also other part which we focus more is to build network of mappers here in Tanzania. This is something that we really eager to push forward, to have a good network of mappers here in Tanzania. And just to highlight briefly what we do is we do data collection through community mapping, and by community mapping here, we are using community because it's like to give them a sense of ownership of the data, because they're the one who have been affected to different problems. So by doing community mapping, we're giving them a sense of data, and also we harness local knowledge through the communities, and also we are doing training and capacity building, and here we are doing at different levels. The first level is at local levels within projects. Here we involve many people who are working with in projects like university students, and up to now we've been able to train many university students here in Tanzania, like University of Dar es Salaam, Sokoine University of Agriculture, and also IRDP IRDP Dodoma, or IRDP Mwanza. Apart from training to this university, and also we do also capacity building to different stakeholders like TAMISEMI, TARURA, and also local government authorities. And also the other part also which we do is innovation in combination with GIS and open source technology. OMDTZ believes in using open source tools. That's why we're focusing more on these open source technologies. For example, I hope some of you have already seen recently, few years, OMDTZ has been successful, created a bamboo drone. And this was created like to show that we can create open source tools which are cheap, but also materials can be available even in our surrounding, which can help in doing even mapping. And also we are focused also on creating or improving tools which can enable us like to collect data at low accuracy GPS, which is called RTK, or real kinematic GPS. Real-time kinematic GPS, which is a tool which OpenMap Development Tanzania right now we are still improving it, so to capture coordinates at the lowest accuracy up to 5 centimeter or even more than that. So that's what OMDTZ we do. As I said earlier, our focus today on this session will be seeing the project which OMDTZ we have been received recently, which is called Tanzania Community Impact Microgrant. This is a project which we're still on the ground up to now. Started. It was March this year, and it will go on until next year. So this project we received from the Humanitarian OpenStreetMap Team through the project called Audacious, which envisioned to map home of 1 billion people, to put home of 1 billion people on the map. So as the OMDTZ is among humanitarian community who are working on the ground daily, doing different mapping projects. So we received this honor of supporting other local organizations here in Tanzania who might even be not seen in the international donors. So as the OMDTZ, our focus is to helping these open communities here in Tanzania, to supporting them to giving them with more resources which they can support them in growing. And Tanzania is one among countries who having many open mapping communities here. So our goal is to support these organizations or communities, and the program itself was supposed to provide fund to up to 8 communities organizations here in Tanzania with fund ranging from 2,500 USD to 5,000 USD here in Tanzania. And the principles for this grant was to find the community with clear and defined goal in their areas, but also to find the communities who will work on creating new partners in their data that they'll be collecting, like to find data users and also different stakeholders who they will collaborate with them in utilizing this fund, but also to find the project who will have inclusivity. I mean, equal opportunities to every people that they will be involving. We needed to see like even more women or more females included, and not only females, also different marginalized groups included in the implementation of the project. And they also wanted to have communities communities with expansion ideas. I mean, to have open knowledge evolution, to expand this open mapping, OpenStreetMap to different number of people. And at last principle is collaboration. To have this organization who will be collaborating with other organizations, also to implement their project. And this program added this framework, and the framework is categorized into five groups. Since as OMDTZ, this is the first time we receive a project like this. Mostly we do project that as ourselves we go to the field and conduct field mapping or different activities. But to support other organizations, this is also for us. It's the first project. So first we started with the training, and this training we received from HOT. HOT supported us with the training on how we can conduct a project like this, on how we can support these communities. And after the training, we sit internally and started designing our projects and how we can conduct. So we started designing the applications, how the applications will be, and also how the outreach program will be, and so forth. And also this. Thanks to HOT, also they supported us in designing our project. And also after that, then the announcement was done. And also after the announcement, then we started receiving different applications. And for this year, we did a one round application. Our project is 1 year, and we were supposed to have 8 communities. We decided let's try to host them at once, so we will not have any more around. So after receiving the application, another process also was supposed to do is to start the selection processes, and we received 23 applications here in Tanzania, and all these applications were in 2 languages, were in Swahili and the other was in English. In selection went on in 3 processes. The first one was internal review. So internally we had to review all the applications to see who met our criteria or principles. But after that, then all the applications went to be reviewed by the panel. And we have 4 amazing group of panel from different countries here in Africa, 3 outside Tanzania and one from Tanzania. After they review, then we come to the internal selection, final selection, in which was done by internal OMDTZ team. So and the successful we got communities that will be working, and the last process was to start awarding these 7 communities. As you can see here in the map, the right side, this map shows categorized into regions. Regions, for those who don't know, in Tanzania, regions is a second level of boundaries. So from national boundaries, then from national boundaries, then we have regions. This shows the regions which these communities organization are from, as you can see, and it also shows where the OMDTZ itself, which region is located. As you can see in the map here, the way these communities were selected, not only we didn't focus only on the biggest or major cities here in Tanzania. You can see here only 2 communities from 2 cities in Mwanza and Dodoma are selected, but others are from other regions. So our focus was not only to find communities who works in these major cities, also to find communities who are outside these major cities. And the expectation to these organizational communities is to have data creation programs. So they will have different programs in collecting data, creating data set for decision making or for advocates in their area of interest, and also outreach programs to different stakeholders who they can support them in using this data or utilizing this data, and also capacity building and programs. So that is also another issue that we were expecting to these communities, capacity building to different number of people that they will be collaborating with, and also technology and the innovation. This is also a good potential part that we are looking forward to these communities that will be working. Apart from our expectation, as OMDTZ is the as OMDTZ, apart from providing fund to these communities, also we're also supporting them in in capacity building or in other resources which they need from OMDTZ. We have seven communities here in Tanzania, and not all of them are well enough in utilizing open mapping tools or OpenStreetMap. As OMDTZ, another focus also is to support this in capacity building. And we already did some training, which was visual and also physical training to some of communities. In Tanzania, and the good thing, one community who we will hear later from a speaker from that organization. This is the first time they are starting to implementing mapping projects here in Tanzania. We will learn in a few minutes how they are implementing their work. So they were provided a physical training for MDTZ. And apart from training, also we do this online catch-ups from time to time, like to understand how the implementation is going on, and also to support if they have any challenges. Normally we are doing online, as you can see, because Tanzania is a huge country and we can't move around at all. So to go with time, to cope with time, so we are doing this online catch up until maybe we need to visit the physical. Then we do physical visit. So the project is itself from community. The community started in implementing the project. It was August this year. So from August up to October, this community went on through with their project to implement, to collect data, and also to do different outreach. And for those 2 months, this is what we have seen from their work. Like we've seen more than 18,000 OSM edits have been added to OSM, and also more than 16,000 building and 308 kilometers have been visited, and also more than 1,000 community members have been engaged in different areas. Like we have one who are dealing with malnutrition. We'll hear her later. We have one who are dealing with malnutrition. They have engaged more than 900 communities who are living in vulnerable areas in malnutrition. And also this community also engaged new mappers to work with them in implementing this project. And also among the mappers that were engaged in different projects, we found that 56% were female. So it's good now female are empowered in doing mapping activities. So as I said earlier, we will be having some of communities. We have 7 communities, but in this session, I invited a few communities. For now, I would like to stop here and welcome one of communities organization to share about their work. Then after we will go to a discussion after they share our work. So let me take this time to welcome Neema Rugangila from Agrithamani to share what they're doing in this microgrant project.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon, evening, morning, everyone. My name is Nema Lugangira. I'm currently in the car, so in case network connectivity has an issue, I'm on the road. But just to introduce, again, my name is Nema Lugangira. I'm a member of parliament in Tanzania, but I'm also the founder and executive director of Atamani Foundation. And basically, Agri-Thamani Foundation is a national registered NGO that's focusing on adding value towards the efforts of ending malnutrition here in Tanzania. And we're very, very fortunate that we became part of the OSM community family after we won a micro grant from HOTSM through the OMDTZ under the project's name of Mapping Nutrition Interventions in the most vulnerable communities in Bukoba. Bukoba is where the regional offices are, the Kagera regional offices. So we've been working in this region for about 3 years or so. So when we saw the opportunity of this community grant, we felt that it would be a good lesson for us to get involved into data collection, data mining, data evaluation, and using that data towards towards our advocacy efforts. So basically, our project is for 6 months, and we were able to get 4,460 USD as grant. And so far, the field mapping coverage, we've reached about 88.5%. And our main achievements, as seen on the slide, is we had to bring on board new mappers because here in Bukoba, there had been no data mapping activities. It was a new item in our own internal team as Agri-Thamani, but also in order to make it sustainable, we realized that we needed to get the local government officials and the community health workers to also have an understanding of how to do data mapping and how they can also use it in their own work. So we trained 34 new mappers, but we've mapped in total 1,060 buildings, 24 schools and health centers, and also 47 kilometers of road. And our main focus was trying to look at, for example, in the schools, do they offer meals at schools? Do they have school gardens? How is their water situation? And we also focused on the most vulnerable households. So we mapped out 900 households, which are elderly households, whom oftentimes are forgotten in the nutrition space. And to be very honest, as I said earlier, this was a new experience for us. But by participating in this project, it has been able to inform our strategic plan, because currently we're developing our first strategic plan from 2020 to 2026. So it has been a great lesson, but it has also made us tweak and have different prioritization in terms of our objectives for the next 5 years. And we came to find out that in Bukoba, the digital skills and digital literacy, there's a huge gap. And that gap, it pushed me further to understand why is there a gap on this side. And I came to realize that, a lot of digital efforts are done in the main cities, leaving behind peripheral regions like Agera. And that motivated me to establish Omuka Hub. Omuka means home in the higher vernacular language. Um, just so that we can also try and make sure that we bridge the rural digital gaps and ensure that peripheral regions like Kagera, it shouldn't be difficult when you come into the area to find people who either they have mobile phones but they don't know how to use them for work purposes, the data literacy, data skills. A lot of other peoples whom we trained have the mobile phones, but all they do is they use it for like things like WhatsApp and telephone and telephone calls. So this is a very, very important project, and it is our hope that there will be a continuation working with OMDTZ and other stakeholders. But it has been a very good learning, and later on, if there'll be any questions or anything like that, I'll be more than glad to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Neema Gangila from Bukoba. Um, yeah, I hope we will be collaborating more. And right now, we have completed the first midterm, and I hope we will also be successful awarding the second fund for the second midterm to accomplish your work in Bukoba. For now, let me also invite another. Let me invite another person from another organization. I will skip to Raya Idrissa because Paulo hasn't joined yet. So I will skip to Raya Idrissa. So Raya, karibu.
So as Amr has introduced me, my name is Raya Idris Ahmada, and I'm actually an assistant lecturer at the State University of Zanzibar, but I'm also SUZA Youth Mappers mentor. And today I'll be talking on behalf of SUZA Youth Mappers. Luckily, we were able to obtain a grant from OMDTZ for the school mapping project. And our chapter is quite, I can say, new. It has been established in 2019 after the completion of the first batch of the Resilience Academy program. The Resilience Academy program under the GICT project, which is continuing at the State University of Zanzibar. So after the completion of the academy, we were able to initiate the chapter with the help from one of the regional ambassador, Ingrid Kintu from Uganda. So from there, we were like creating different activities to create more awareness to the students and to motivate the students to join the movement. And luckily, after getting the grant from the OMDTZ, we were able to conduct the school mapping project involving other stakeholders in the education sector. For example, in the beginning, while we were preparing for the proposal, we went and talked to the people from the Ministry of Education and Vocational Training in Zanzibar, and to see which data they are they are interested in collecting. And so, yes, we got support from there, and they are expecting for us, after finishing the data collection process, to help them with the GIS part component of their management information system. Can you please move to the second slide? Yes, and we expect to finish the project in 6 months, and the grant that we have obtained is about $4,970. And so far in the midterm, we have covered about 75% of the field activities. But in addition to the field activities, as I have said, there are a lot of new mappers. So we have trained about 55 new mappers, and we have engaged about 56% of the female mappers. So the idea was to, in addition to the project that is conducted there, the idea is also to motivate others to join the movement, as most of the students who are now participating, either they're in their final year in the university, and some of them have already graduated. Are waiting for their graduation. So in the process, we are also training. We have training sessions for the new mappers. And also we have been able to create our website, which is still under development, so that we can share what we are doing and what we expect to do in the future. But working with OMDTZ has opened up new doors to new opportunities, as we have been collaborating. We have been working closely with not only OMDTZ, but also with others. For example, in one of the projects, after people saw what we are doing in the mapping activities, there's one project from UNDP, Accelerator Lab, which was dealing with the mapping tourist sites in Zanzibar, and they recruited some of our students, and it has helped to keep the chapter active and alive. Next slide, please. So, of course, we have met with some challenges, and as we are collecting, we have collected several pieces of information, but we need the help from OMDTZ on how to create a good web map for the data after finishing all the schools in Zanzibar. And also has been, we can say there's no flexibility of funds because we are working with the students from the university. So you can see like now they have opened the university. So you find most of them are busy with their studies, while previously, 2 months back, they were free so that they could perform field activity. But in addition to that, we are anticipating to cover Pemba Island as well, but there's this travel cost and accommodation is as a requirement is much higher as compared to what we have done here in Zanzibar, in Unguja Island, as most of the students are living here. So that is the challenge that we are expecting to get, but luckily, of course, we are going to sort things out, and we have asked some advice from the OMDTZ and, of course, other people who are supporting us, like the Liquid Telecom, to see how we can also cover for Pemba Island as well. Next slide, please. So I think that's it.
Yes, that's
so,
it.
Yeah. So if you have any questions later on, of course, I'll be around to answer any of your questions. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Raya. Yeah, congratulations. I've seen your work with UN Accelerator Lab. Congratulations for receiving that work to map health tourism facilities in Zanzibar. We still have one person from other organization, but I guess they are having difficulty in joining this meeting. So I'll share their work just briefly. Apart these two organizations that we have seen, also we invited to this session this organization called Lake Victoria Shore Environmental HAVIs Project Tanzania, in abbreviation LAVISEA. This is a CBO or community-based organization which is based in Mwanza City. And it was established in 2014. And their project in community grants is generating the data for gender-based violence in Mwanza, in one district in Mwanza, which is called Magu. And basically in this project, they will be collecting, they will be generating building footprints in the area of interest. And also they will be visiting different wards or villages within Magu district to do a survey to these people who are vulnerable to gender-based violence. And you also to collect different point of interest information like schools and health facilities. And their project as well is for 6 months, and they received more than 4,870 USD. And up to now, as right now, they've already they are in mid-term of their work. So up to now, they've already recruited new mappers, as you've seen in there. in the screen. They've already mapped 3 villages in digitizing building footprints, but as well in collecting these important amenities, as you're seeing this in the screen, like schools and also health facilities. And also they visited 117 individuals just to do a survey on gender-based violence. And most these people who have been visited by this organization are the people who are vulnerable to gender-based violence, and not only to the communal level, but also to their leaders as well, like community leaders. Here in Tanzania, we have local leaders at the ward level who are called ward executive officers or chairpersons. So this also some of the leaders who are involved in this mapping. In this mapping process. Too bad for them, they didn't join, but that is what they are doing in our project. And the few challenges who are facing. This is I can say the first challenge is common to many places you go in Tanzania. For example, even in ourselves as OMDTZ, this is also been challenges to many areas that we go in data collection. So as you can see, readers to expect that they will be empowered financial, apart from the work that we are going to do, and also lack of awareness to women and girls on how to fight gender-based violence, and this is among groups who are affected high in gender-based violence. So this is a problem to them, which also make the work to be hard in their data collection, and also at-risk girls and women who have been visited by the group of mappers from Labisea. Also, they have high expectation to be supported by in financial, like to support them in creating business, so to be able to stand up for themselves. And the last areas, which is highly, I guess this area many communities have faced technical errors. But the good thing is, as OMDTZ, also other different communities who receive these grants, we are working together, like to help each other in any technical errors that we are facing. For instance, this year, in using Maps.me, which is the application which most people use in navigation and correcting important facilities and all important amenities and different areas. But right now, it has some technical areas, so it is hard to be used in collecting this information. These are three organizations that you have had, but we have other organizations, other four organizations. One they are from Morogoro in Tanzania. Who are dealing with collecting plastic materials or plastic waste sites in their area of interest. And I hope some of you have already heard their work. They presented the day before yesterday. And also we have another organization which called IRDP, who are doing community mapping in Dodoma. As a capital city of Tanzania. Also, this is among organizations who have been awarded a fund. And also we have another organization who was supposed also to be in this call, but due to technical issues, they are not able to show up. So it's Tanzania Red Cross Societies, which is a branch in Katavi, Tanzania. So also they are doing also their work in mapping for epidemics in Katavi. So these are communities that are working right now with OMDTZ. And the OMDTZ, our goal was to support these communities, with funding to grow and also to expand the OSM communities here in Tanzania, such as like youth mappers. So as you have seen, apart all this organization, we have three groups of youth mappers. So we have like SUSA, we have RDP, and also we have Sokoine students, who all these three groups are youth mappers, and also other organizations. So we wanted it to have to expand the communities in Tanzania, and also to make these communities to be part of global community change by getting this grant. Who maybe at some point they could not get or apply internationally, or international donor they couldn't be able to reach by these communities. So those are contacts to this organization. So for now, let's jump to discussions after hearing the work of these communities. I hope you have learned few of their, or briefly how they are working here in Tanzania. I will start with a quick question to Honorable Neema Rugangira. As one of the organization who this is the first time you are being involved in mapping activities. I guess it's also a wonderful learning experience or learning process while implementing microgrant activities. So I would like for you to tell us where do you see yourself as, or where do you see AgriThaman will be after the end of this fund? Where do you see in open mapping activities? Where do you see AgriThaman will be? So yes, oh, she left. Maybe she has some trouble with network. So let me jump to Raya. Yeah, oh, I have seen Janet Chapman. I have seen your comment. Thank you. Yeah. For instead of Maps.me, right now there is another application which called Organic Maps. Also works as Maps.me. So for other people who are still facing that trouble with Maps.me, also you can try to use this Organic Maps. It also works perfect as Maps.me and accepts OSM accounts. So Raya, I hope you can hear me. Can you tell us? Yes. Can you tell us about the connection you have or you got along while implementing this work? I remembered at first you started doing mapping only schools information, like the location of schools and the name of schools, and then you received like a suggestion also to add value to the work. Can you tell us what value what value did you add to your work, and how did it improve your mapping activities?
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, actually, the thing is, at the beginning, while we are writing proposal, of course, we just wanted to show the schools' names and locations. But then, while we were asking for suggestions and looking at other stakeholders who would actually use the data, there are some important information that they think should be there so that that would help them. So we met with the guy from Liquid Telecom, and they are having this project of trying to provide connectivity in all the schools across Africa. And they were much interested in adding some of the data. So we added some of the attributes in the data set, like the ICT facilities that are available in those schools. So if you look at the tool that we have been using, the form, I mean, the Kobo toolbox, the Kobo form, it had a lot of information in addition to the school's location. It also had like the ICT facilities available, but also in doing that, we also thought of uh, talking with the other stakeholders. Like we went to Milele Zanzibar Foundation, which is a foundation, an organization in Zanzibar that is helping in improving the STEM uh, in Zanzibar. So we also asked them for their inputs, and we also included the STEM related data into those schools. For example, one of the some of the questions was about if the schools had implemented like STEM or any development project, and from which date to which date, and if that development project is still active or not, and stuff like that. But also the availability of electricity, the availability of science labs, like the physics labs, chemistry lab, also the computer labs, and if they had computer technician or not. So that is the thing that the aspect that we added into the project.
Yes, yeah, nice to hear that. Yeah, those efficient or potential information that will be helping data users to understand like how the spatial distribution of these schools in terms of ICT, which schools do connected and which schools they're not connected. ICT is among good component to the schools. In the many schools here in Tanzania, even in mainland, don't have like electric connectivities, and they also ICT technology like computers. Many schools don't have, so it's good information that you have added to your work, and also for myself, I've never been in Zanzibar, and can you tell us like the challenges in collecting information like those, apart from collecting only locations, like because you're collecting information, like you will be needed to sit like with a head teacher or responsible person to certain schools. So what challenges did you face while collecting those informations? And also, what challenges are you facing in doing outreach, for instance, to the potential data users of those data?
Well, the challenge actually I could say is the same, because when you talk to the headmaster at the end of the day, when the students have finished collecting the data, then you say thank you. They're like expecting something, like they're expecting them to be paid or something. So that is actually the challenge that we have been facing. But luckily, so far, we have managed to like talk with them and make them understand. But in addition to that, we of course working, because Suza Youth Mappers is a chapter at the university, and it is one of the extracurriculum activities that is happening at the university. But some of the I could say some of the people still doesn't understand actually the value that we have or what we are currently doing, because you see some of them, like they say, like, your work is only to collect data. So they still don't understand the advantage of the data that we are collecting. And that is why in this proposal, for example, we started with talking with the Ministry of Education to see if the data that we are collecting is actually going to be used or is needed. Because otherwise, people like think that you are only collecting data. But from in addition to that, we have learned, or we are learning, we're still learning because we are still new and we are still new to the projects, but we are learning from others like you on DTZ, and we are planning to, after collecting the data, we are planning to add value to it. So we are also planning to come up with the suggestion of data analysis, data visualization, and stuff like that. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. If anyone have a question, you can post on the chat. So anyone from our side can answer the question. So I welcome any question from the people who have been listening from the start of our session. If you have any question, you can share on the chat. While waiting for the questions, also I would like to share. I would like to share also some lesson learned also from OMDTZ. As I mentioned earlier, this is also our first time doing the project like this to do funding to other communities. I can start with the opportunities also as OMDTZ. It is wonderful to work with communities here in Tanzania. Has been given as a picture Tanzania has so potentials in mapping, and also we have so many communities who are working daily in solving their local challenges in different areas. So as OMDTZ, it is good that we are working with these different communities to support each other. It's not like as OMDTZ only knows everything. Also, so we have been supporting each other with all these communities. So it is good also add value to OMDTZ. But the biggest challenges that we are facing as OMDTZ in working with these communities, as you have seen the map I showed earlier, Tanzania is among huge country in Africa. So and you have seen the spatial distribution of these groups. You find some of these are located like more than 1,000 kilometers from Dar es Salaam. So in management is all these communities. It's sometimes it's really hard because of this spatial distribution. And also, for example, this year I highlighted earlier, we did a one round application. Like we were supposed to have 80 communities, and our side we decided let's have them at once. Let's host them at once. For this year, it's just like a lesson learned. If we have this HANA again to work with these different communities, we will try to work with maybe to do a two rounds, like you have 4 first, then you have 4 at the second round. It can easier management of this group of people. And also the issue that I have seen through many communities in the data use. We are looking forward how their work, how the data that will be generated by them, how will be used by different stakeholders. So that is one thing that we are much aware that we are waiting to see how this data they will change the lives of people, or they will improve the life of people living in vulnerable areas, and at the end of the day, contributing to the goal of Audacious to put vulnerable people on the map, to reach up to 1 billion by 2025. So that's a challenge.
Hi, thank you so very much. So we just have 2 minutes to go. So Raya, if you can just answer one question before we go, from Janet. She said, good points. How can you convince people on the ground about the data advantages? So if you can answer that before 50, then that would be awesome. Thank you.
Yes. I think the first good step is to share what we have collected with the ministry and add value to the existing system and see that the data is useful. For example, it's not only the Ministry of Education, the other organizations who come up with the different projects to help the schools could also use the data to see which schools to prioritize in giving them funds or coming up with the projects. Because some of the schools, you see, some of the schools are having a lot of donors or grants reach some of the schools while others are left behind. So that could be useful. So I believe if we test it in with one or with some of the stakeholders and organizations, people would see the 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 usefulness of the data. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank
I
you,
hope I have
everyone.
answered.